So just before we start, thank you again for coming in. The purpose of this study is to kind of get a bit better idea of the international student experience at HKU. And as I said, I'm a part-time research assistant. I have no affiliation with HKU. I didn't go here. I work in Kowloon. I have no affiliation. So with that said, before we get started, I just want you to know that you have the right to withdraw at any point. So you can leave if you want. Okay. You also have the right to amend anything you've said after the interview. So if you have anything that you want to take back or you want to change, you can just let us know. Everything is going to be anonymized. So we hope that this chat feels safe for you and you're able to say what you want to say. And during the chat, I'll just be taking notes. You can have a look at any time. You can ask me what I'm writing also. Budgeted around an hour, but it kind of just depends how much is. Yeah. Sure. So to get started, can you tell me about why you wanted to come into this interview?
I don't know. I've been joining all the interviews. Okay. That people, as long as I'm eligible, then I kind of sign up because I'm doing research and it's a pain when you can't get subjects. Right. So when I see it and I think, I'm free, or I could come by, have lunch and then meet that person and do whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you.
I've been doing a lot.
Yeah, it is a pain getting
it's a pain.
Participants. People are so busy. Okay, then why don't we can go down the list of what are the key issues and challenges that you faced. What's your story?
I actually came to Hong Kong in 2014 and I was in RA then. So I got a job offer. So I'm Singaporean, so I got a job offer and then came over and worked. And I didn't really like my first. I actually came for church, to help with planting a church, etc. So having a working visa was kind of like why I stayed. But the first job was quite bad, so I found another one which is in my current department. And then because I was an RA and I was doing quite a lot of work out of the scope of an RA, so my supervisor actually said if you are interested in postgraduate studies, then why not you change to a student? And that's what I'm doing now.
Did you say your department was in the medical?
Yeah, so now I'm doing orthopedics.
Okay. Yeah. So then you had a job?
Yeah, so I was an RA, a full-time RA, and then now I changed to a full-time student under the same supervisor. Yeah.
Nice. Are you enjoying it?
The lessons are stupid.
What sort of, you mean
the postgrad, the compulsory lessons are really stupid, but I guess I have no choice but to take them. But the research is fun. I like how they allow people without a medical degree, and where I come from, you kind of need to have a medical degree to do more clinical related research, but in Hong Kong it's a bit different. So there's a lot of opportunities here for me to explore and even go further. Can I go to medical school next time? Which is actually why I wanted to even start doing clinical research. Yeah. So it's a stepping stone. So this department is quite good in that sense.
Oh, so you have the opportunity to do medical things you don't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in Singapore it's a bit hard. So coming to Hong Kong actually gave me the advantage.
Okay.
So I have friends in Singapore that are kind of stuck because I studied life science. So there is that barrier. You can't get the clinical research exposure, even though you're really interested. You learn it in books, you read it, but no one wants to hire you just because they think you don't have the knowledge and stuff. So in Hong Kong, I think that was something that made me stay as well.
The opportunity.
Yeah, the opportunity to do something that I was interested in that would help me in my future career. Yeah.
Okay. So the Hong Kong doesn't have the same prerequisites.
Yeah, I think they're not as I think it's also partly because my boss is quite he's like, if you can do it, then just do it. No big deal. He didn't think not having the medical degree was a hindrance or something. So he actually taught me more than what I was supposed to know in a sense, which is why I've been, that's why I've done quite a fair bit with him, and stuff. So so he's quite glad to have me as a student. So.
Okay. So with that, the prerequisite, it's different here than in Singapore. How was the application process?
The application was quite easy. Okay, it's easy, typical graduate school kind of process. Because I had another friend from Singapore that came over, so she was telling me about the application. I didn't try for the Singapore schools, so my friend did, and I kind of know how it worked, and it's quite similar. References, write a proposal, etc., etc. So nothing big. Yeah.
Was it smooth? Like, did you have any communications with HKU while you were?
No, because my boss is a professor here, so
So it's mainly
it's kind of So it's like
okay.
as long as he signs it, the chances that you'll get accepted seems quite high. So I didn't. Yeah.
So it was overall smooth for you.
Yeah, it was
okay.
just easy.
Good. We've had. I'm asking because we've had like some people had a really rocky.
I think they're supposed to have interviews for external candidates, but because I already worked there, so I can kind of skip
like
that
a
part.
fast
Yeah.
track. Okay.
So like as long as Hong Kong U wants me, like they're okay with my transcript, with my grades, etc. And then I think the department was fine, so it was quite easy. I didn't do much.
Yeah. How long have you been here now then?
This is my 4th year.
4th year.
No, 3rd year. So I just entered my 4th year. Is that how I count it? I came here in 2014, September.
But as a research.
Yeah, I've been doing research ever since I came. I just changed the department after the 1st year. Yeah.
Okay, so you're 4th year already.
Yeah.
So wow, okay, that's I think we haven't had many research people in that far into their research already. Interesting.
But as a student, it's only my 5th month, so I've been working so I've been working for a long time.
5th month as student. Okay. So, do you live on campus?
No, I live in Port Fulam Gardens.
Okay.
Because when I was in RA, there was no accommodation for staff, so I rented a place on my own, and I got married in Hong Kong.
Ah, okay.
And so now, and I can't stay with my spouse, so we had to rent somewhere else. Yeah, because accommodations are usually single house there.
Would you have wanted to stay if you could move in with your spouse?
Yeah, so much cheaper.
Yeah.
It's really expensive to rent a house outside.
Housing, no spouse. Okay. We've had some people talk about the rigidity of the rules in housing.
It's very bad. Like, I actually lived just down the East Gate when I was not married, and it's a pain. It's like, why can't I just live on campus? I had to pay so much more money for a house, and it's like ridiculous, right? If you hire me as a foreign worker, you should, I guess, in a sense, accommodate us as well. But oh well, so no choice about that.
No accommodation as RA. Okay. Well, you said your going back to the previous about your application. You said it was quite smooth because most of the
because I was in the department at the time when I applied. I was there for almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
So the professors know me.
Right.
The head of department knows me as well.
Right.
So that's why it was kind of here.
Since then, though, have you had any communications with the admin or any interaction with the admin?
It's just I have problems with my visa. I think the changing of the visa was a bit problematic.
From work visa to okay. And how
because,
was that
the
resolved?
immigration is quite strict, so you can't have like 2 visas. You need to terminate one and then get a new one. So it was kind of like I'm stuck in between. Yeah. So I had to like time all my leaving of the country. When's my last working day? Do I have to go to Shenzhen and come back and stuff? So previously, in my first 2 or 3 years, I had to leave the Hong Kong borders and come back. So I would make like a day trip. It's so stupid. Just to activate the visa.
Right.
But they changed, I think, to see all us, they changed so I didn't have to go out anymore. So that helped. But the in-between was still a bit problematic because I had to go to Wan Chai and wait for a long time and there's no special queue, but there's special queue for like the China people. It's annoying.
So there's
I sat there for 6 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, like I think I went there at 10 and I left at 4 or something. It was like horrible.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to experience
that. It's like a day off from work.
Yeah.
Not doing anything. You just sat there. You didn't know how long they would take and stuff. That was really horrible.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
Yeah, it's just you just live with it. It's just not that good, I guess.
Yeah. Were you speaking in English there?
No, speaking Cantonese, I can speak fluent Cantonese.
Okay. So that language.
Yeah, it's just the way they do stuff because they're so slow, and they only have a special sort of like channel for the Chinese. So there were so many other foreigners that were making a fuss as well. They're like, why is this taking so long, etc., etc. You made us make appointment bookings and you made us wait so long, blah, blah, blah. But there's no point arguing, so that was not that good. Yeah. At least the immigration.
What about on HKU's side? Was there any...
HKU side, not much. I think not really a problem, but the only kind of hassle I had was ending my contract before the last day.
Right.
Yeah, so I think there was a bit of an admin hassle. So I think my boss had to do some stuff. So I can't remember. He didn't really tell me much, but I heard that it was a bit problematic, I guess.
And think your boss kind of helped you?
Yeah, because
you don't really know what happened.
Yeah, I didn't really know what happened.
Okay.
But
So then, okay. That was with the termination of your...
termination of the contract.
Well, I'm glad that your boss was able to sort that out for you.
Yeah.
So it sounds like overall there hasn't been, in terms of, application process was smooth and changing the visa was Hong Kong U side smooth-ish,
okay,
but then,
the only problem I had was because I'm still kind of working part-time for my boss, and because, I have a lot of expenses as a foreigner, etc., so he was going to hire me part-time. That was a huge problem because I'm a foreigner and I was on a student visa. So there were a lot of issues with Hong Kong U and not the government, is the funniest part. So the government already said that we can work maximum 150 hours a year. But Hong Kong U was like, you're going to prove that it's related to your studies, you're going to tell me how much money you're earning, etc., etc. The whole thing took like 3 months and we were so pissed off because it was very, very, very problematic. Yeah, this was horrible. I went up to the faculty so many times.
Can you talk a little bit more about that process?
Like you have to write why you need to have this part-time job in a sense. How is it related to your studies? Where's the money coming from? Because my boss actually has collaborators outside, so they were paying me from outside, not from Hong Kong U. So if it was within Hong Kong U, it's easy. But because it was from outside, they gave us a lot of trouble. Like who is this company? Who are the people inside? What's their relationship with your department, your projects, etc.
So it sounds like it was it
was very, very problematic.
A very thorough,
and then I had to submit the application to the Faculty Higher Degree Committee, and that took a long time as well.
You to process.
Yeah, to review and have meetings and whatever. Just stupid.
Yeah.
and after they approved, and then there was problem with the department. It was so horrible. They were saying but Hong Kong U is not paying you money, so why is your approval letter writing that it has something to do with our department? I'm like, what the? I'm still under your department, right? It's rubbish. So it was just so I had to go back and forth. Then again, they had to call my boss, and he had to explain and stuff. So it took about 3 or 4 months. Yeah, I just got it approved now. I applied in November.
So were you being paid during that time?
Yeah, they back paid me.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were nice enough to count it as from the day I started my studies. Then that's the day of my employment, which I have been doing. So I've been, in a sense, volunteering for his stuffs.
Who's they? You said they back paid.
They, like the company.
Okay.
Yeah, because the money comes from collaborators. Yeah.
Okay.
Because in Hong Kong U, they are very rigid. So the part-time pay is as if full-time pay. They just count how many hours you work. So there is sort of like a cap to how much you earn. But because of all my expenses, the school fees and everything, so my boss was like, maybe I could give you some extra help and stuff. So that was where the problem was, because my pay is
from outside.
From outside, and Hong Kong U is like, I don't know, why do I need so much money or something? I don't know. Yeah, but it's ridiculous. Like staying here, living here, paying for school fees every month, and honestly, they only give us 16,000 a month. It's like 3,500 for school fees every month. That's like you hardly have anything. Yeah, so they kind of make it difficult for people who want to help. I don't know.
They make it difficult for people who want to help.
Yeah, want to help foreign students. If a supervisor thinks you're a good student, he wants to keep you here. But because I rejected him the first time he asked me to be a student, I said no, because I'd rather be an RA and earn more money. Yeah, so after that, that's why he went around and found some other people to, kind of help with the money, and that's why I agreed. Otherwise, I would have rejected it just for practical reasons. Yeah.
Right. So you earn more as an RA for him.
Yeah, because I don't have to pay for school fees.
Of course.
Yeah, and the stipend here is fixed.
Okay.
But as an RA, we get increment every year based on your performance. So no matter how hard I work as a student, I don't get an increment from the school. But as an RA, we get increments.
And how does the fixed payment, how does that affect you? Does it affect you?
It's just useless.
Useless?
Yeah, because they already make you work 100 hours under this so-called postgraduate scholarship. So working this extra 150 hours, I'm doing a lot more work for a very, very minimal amount. Very minimal sum. So it's like you might as well not take it and save yourself the trouble.
Right.
Because as students, you don't have a choice anyway, honestly. If you think. Like my boss is good because he actually agreed to pay me, but he can actually ask me to do it without paying me. And I have, in a sense, I cannot refute because I'm a student. They buy like all our time as postgraduates. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of like a not so good thing, I guess. Yeah.
Does that affect maybe the way you, like your levels of motivation, would you say, or it doesn't really, it's not really?
If I didn't get paid, I think I won't work as hard. I won't OT as much as, especially when, because I'm doing a lot of animal studies. I do 2 animal studies concurrently, so I can't be on holidays. I have to go back every day of the week because I have to give them their drugs at a certain amount of time, etc. So, if you not get paid, you don't get holidays and so forth. Yeah, it's definitely a very discouraging thing. Yeah.
Discouraging?
Yeah. And it's like if I look at my friends and they get to go on holiday, they get to go, during the weekends and stuff, it really makes you wonder, like, why am I so... Yeah, like why do I do this?
So why do you do it?
I do it because I got paid.
For the money?
Kind of. And it's also like, no, it's because, how would I say, my boss, he did a lot for me. And therefore, this is how I kind of help him back. I do my best, etc. Of course, the money is, if I had the money, it would be good. But like I said, if he didn't agree to pay me, I wouldn't have taken up the studentship in the first place.
Right.
So then the whole thing doesn't that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So how long do you think you'll be as a student for?
Just 2 years because I'm just doing an MPhil.
Okay. And
then I might go to Australia because my spouse is Australian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we might go back.
So you're almost a quarter way.
Yeah, it just seems like forever. I don't know. I guess it'll be done soon.
So what would you say is like the biggest, like when you talk about the 2 years, you kind of, it sounds like a little bit, you're like, oh, it's taking so long. What do you think is the biggest driving force behind that? It could be money. And what do you think is the biggest thing that's really like dampening the experience down for you? And it also could be money. Up to you.
I guess the driving force is that it allows me to have the opportunity to do more, I guess. Because as an RA, I was although I was, in a sense, capable of doing much higher level stuffs, but I was always tied down with the very mundane admin work because that's what RAs do. Like you can't just not do it. But now as a student, you have because my boss also found a replacement for me. So now as a student, you kind of have more time aside from all this very basic admin stuff, and then I can explore more. I can self-learn. So I've been doing a lot of self-learning as well because we do a lot of statistics, but we don't have courses and stuff. So I just self-learn a lot, try a lot. Even for the experiments, because my boss is a doctor, he doesn't have lab experience. So then I have to meet with other postdocs, or ask around, or test around. So I have more time to do all these things. So I guess it helps for someone who wants to do research in the future and not be stuck as an RA.
Right.
So that really helps. This whole studies, it kind of made me want to continue, even though it's very, very tough. I really feel like giving up of times. The bad thing about it, I really feel like giving up a lot of times. Just by the sheer amount of effort you put in, and you might not have results. I mean, that's just research, right? And especially like lab work. If I feed my animals every day, but they might not have the kind of, say, symptoms that I want them to, or like the effects, etc. But that's part of research, I guess. There's not much I can say about it. But I think the discouraging thing is the rigidity of the Hong Kong U system. I think it's really stupid. Like the classes that they make us take, it's really stupid. It's just stupid. Like I don't know why they make us take such lessons. It's so elementary. Like I've done it in my undergrad, like basic stuff, and and just make us spend a lot of time doing it. It's so ridiculous. Yeah.
We've had other students also mention these mandatory classes.
Yeah, like everyone, when you talk about the common, like the graduate core modules, they're like, oh, it's just a waste of time. Like I'm doing my other research work in class because I've learned it already. Yeah.
This is part of the graduate school.
Yeah, and it's not helpful, honestly.
So you said that rigidity, the fact that these classes are mandatory for you, is probably the biggest.
Yeah, because they don't give you like exceptions, kind of like you must prove that. For example, if the statistics class, okay, I must have had a previous master's in statistics, or like I must have had undergrad in statistics to show that I know this statistics stuff, and therefore I don't need to attend your lesson. But it's not true, right? Like there's a lot of things that we actually learn while doing which you might not have a cert for. Right? So like, why are you forcing us to go for these lessons when it's something that we already know? Yeah, so I think this is a waste of time. I would rather they say give us more seminars, like overseas speakers, etc. I think these are more useful.
Do you have the opportunity to go to those?
My department's quite good. They do have quite a fair bit of external conferences out of Hong Kong U, so my boss encourages me to go to those as well. So we do. And they have this, I don't know if it's a bi-monthly or monthly, or maybe not, maybe quarterly kind of invite for our overseas professors to come, and it's like kind of open for everyone in the department. So then we get to go for free. So that really helps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you like those conferences?
Yeah, it's like you learn from people who have done something and published something, right? Instead of doing some stupid course. And I had another problem with the electives. Oh, the electives are so bad. It's like, it's so, I don't know, they made us go to these electives, but I don't know if it's a communication problem with the school, like the, school or whatever faculty the elective comes from itself, or what. Like, they don't even care if you are not let's say, a master's student. Like, example, I took a public health module last semester. It was so horrible because they didn't even care, like, if there were people that were not public health students. They just thought as if everyone was, they had the same background, etc. And it was so hard to catch up. And there was, like, no assistance, no nothing. And it made the whole experience so horrible. Like, I took a module as an elective because I want to learn, but you are not even teaching me. So why is graduate school giving us all these things to do if there is no, if it doesn't serve its purpose, right? The purpose of it is to expose us more, let us learn things beyond what we are researching, so that we don't be square-brained with scientists. But there's no point if the teachers are not in this together.
Yeah.
So that was really bad. Like I was having a lot of difficulty because the workload was heavy. There was no time for people like me who have no background, because we don't take that in introductory courses.
Okay.
And there's no like extra help and stuff. So all my other friends my group mates, in a sense, that were from the Masters of Public Health, they found it much easier because they had concurrently a few introductory classes. But for me, in that one class, it was really hard. Yeah.
What did you reach out to?
I actually wrote to them and I asked. I didn't reply me at all.
Who's
like the teaching assistant in charge. I think I even CC'd the professor, but there was no reply.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, how do you expect us to read? And it was crazy. They gave us, example, a week. You have, I think 5 or 6 articles. And some of the articles are, I think, minimum 30 pages. There were some that were, almost 100. how can I read that in a week? And I'm doing research all the time, and feeding my animals and stuff. It's impossible, you know. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
To have such a workload. Like, and graduate school, they have that kind of like scoring thing that people score to tell you if this is a good module or bad module when we add and drop the classes. But you know, a lot of modules don't have review, so like I feel like I just stepped into like a trap or something. And I can't get out. Yeah, and I can't you know drop it halfway.
Okay, so they're not.
They're really not flexible about it.
Yeah.
And it really defeats the purpose of having such electives.
Sorry you had that experience.
Yeah, that was really horrible.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll never take any more public health modules ever.
Oh, so one course really put you off?
Yeah, it's like, it's horrendous. It's not helpful.
Well, at least it's over now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about on to more positive things? How about your life in Hong Kong in general? I know you said you moved over for work originally, but then as a Singaporean in Hong Kong, how is that? You also mentioned you speak Cantonese.
Yeah, I speak Cantonese.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's still okay because I have church friends, so I kind of blend in better. And speaking Cantonese helps. You're not that left out in conversations.
Does that happen, you think? If you don't?
It does. I've seen because my church has so we kind of like. It's like a branch in a more layman. It's like a branch from the Singapore one. So the Singapore one's really big, well established and stuff. So they kind of look after the Hong Kong church. So we have had people who are say on exchange, like Singaporean students or people that have come to work or just for an internship. So they have like joined us, and a lot of them don't speak Cantonese. It's very hard for them to like blend in. At first instance, I guess, because it's very normal for the locals to just speak in Cantonese and forget to speak in English, and their English standard is not as high anyway.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a bit hard. So at least I feel like I kind of overcame that because I can speak Cantonese.
Yeah.
And I can understand perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So that helped. I think I've been to Hong Kong like every year since I was a kid. My parents really love Hong Kong.
Oh, okay.
So I'm quite familiar with Hong Kong.
So was there any culture shock for you?
At the workplace.
Culture shock at the workplace?
Yeah, culture shock at the workplace. Like,
how so?
Like my friends were like, you must, they say like no job in Hong Kong doesn't OT unless you're in the government job. I was like, what? I was like, that's horrible. Where's the work-life balance? Because in Singapore, they always say, government's like, work-life balance, you should like, get off work on time, you should have your Saturday and Sundays off and stuff. But in Hong Kong, I think it's very rare to have 5-day work week. Usually they have 5.5 days. Yeah, and my friends like in those crazier industries like finance or auditing, and they'll be like, they end work at 10, 11. Yeah, so that was really quite shocking, and also because I got married, so it's like get to see a Hong Kong family. I'm like, it's very difficult. Cantonese people have so many traditions, so many kind of etiquettes that you don't know. Even though I can speak Cantonese, sometimes they forget that I'm Singaporean, so I kind of like step on their toes a bit.
So your husband's?
My husband's he's a local, but he went to Australia for a long time. So now he has like dual citizen, but his family's in Hong Kong.
Right. Okay.
So that was like that was a bit shocking.
Because of the different traditions.
Yeah, because of the different mindset. In Singapore it's like racial harmony, etc. Over Hong Kong they have like a lot of political views. Singapore's more, I don't know. Some people call it communist in a very subtle sense that they're not like China, but like in Hong Kong it's very like whatever I want to say I can go out and but in Singapore it's actually illegal and stuff. It's illegal to stand out and speak. It's illegal to see why I forgot what's the English word for it, like protest. Yeah, illegal to protest.
Okay.
Etc. So those were quite shocking. And when I came in 2014, it was the yellow umbrella. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's been really new for you.
That's so scary. I think my mom was like freaked out. She was like, come back now, don't stay in Hong Kong, etc.
Do you feel like you could voice your views?
I don't think it works, honestly.
You don't think
Yeah,
it works?
I don't think
Okay.
it works.
So it's more like a purpose thing for you that's stopping you.
I don't think that by them voicing out, the government has done much to change. In fact, I find it more like this is more useful in Singapore because the government is so scared that you kind of overthrow it, that they will listen to your requests.
Right.
Of course, they're still controlling everything, but they're kind of like, okay, if you are happy, I'm happy, and then you don't make trouble for me. So that's kind of like the Singapore stance. But in Hong Kong, it's like, say whatever you want. Things probably won't change, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So for me, I'm not very into it because I don't think it makes a lot of difference.
Right. Do you feel this like political tension on campus, or is this just a Hong Kong?
Campus previously it was quite bad after the yellow umbrella, and then the don't know who got caught and stuff. So they were like pasting posters everywhere. They had the some guy came and it was at the jockey club, and they were having some meeting, and people were like standing outside and protesting. And I was just shocked that it can get so crazy because like all the policemen and everything.
Yeah.
So that was really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Hong Kong is overall quite good. A lot of foreigners, quite foreigner friendly. They have trilingualism and everything.
Interesting.
Yeah. They have like useful apps that I can go around with, like OpenRice,
Yeah.
Google Maps or whatever. So these help to kind of settle in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't feel like I'm that lost. If I have anything I don't know, search, and then usually I find what I know.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that really helped in my first year here.
Good. Yeah. What about going back to language? You say you can speak Cantonese, and sometimes like even your husband's family forgets that you're not local.
Yeah.
Do you get? Is there any language on like in the lab or within your faculty? Are there any language barriers where people are speaking a certain language?
Previously, in my lab, like my first job, I was in pathology. So at that time, my Cantonese was not that good because I,
Oh,
just
so you
knew
picked
it.
up Cantonese here?
No, I actually learned it since I was a kid because I watched so much TVB. So I can understand them like say 90% of the time. But speaking is still you still need to get used to the colloquial language or like certain meanings or slang that they have. So and working in a lab is a bit tough because everything like scientific terms you don't say it in Cantonese.
Right.
That's very hard. So in my first year I used English more, and I really could feel the isolation, like because I was only like foreigner, so the rest of them were locals, and they really didn't want to like hang out much because their English was not that good. So they found it a barrier to approach me, and therefore they just kind of like not approached me.
Right.
And then because they didn't approach me, I also felt like I don't know what else to say, etc. So that kind of made me want push myself and ask my church friends, could you teach me more slang, etc. and stuff. So that was the first year. So after that, I got a bit better, and because my current department is a clinical department, so I meet patients and stuff. So that was like a good training ground for me.
Because you have to speak to them in Cantonese.
Yeah, because I have to speak to them in Cantonese. Like a lot of them are elderly, so they can't speak English. They can't even speak like Putonghua and stuff.
Right.
So yeah, so that helps. But now my Putonghua is so bad, I cannot hold proper conversation. I have sprout Cantonese words. So now my lab is very funny. I think 90% of them are from China. It's so bad. Like they ask me for certain things, I'm like, what are you saying? They have so many strange terms in Chinese that I don't even know of, and they can't speak Cantonese. So I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
So, and they can't understand me, and I can't understand them. So that was really bad.
So there's also a language barrier between you and your colleagues.
In the lab, yeah. But my hospital colleagues speak Cantonese because they're local.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just
wow. So it's interesting to hear your perspective because a lot of the international participants that we've had, they don't speak Cantonese at all. But then you've kind of gone from the not really speaking Cantonese to speaking Cantonese, and you mentioned that when you couldn't speak Cantonese, you really felt that barrier.
Yeah.
So the language barrier is very.
It is very real, and their English is just not that good,
Right.
So it's very hard for them to understand you if you speak, especially like Singaporeans. We speak quite fast, and sometimes we have the accent, like Singapore accent. And a lot of people, it's like, what? They don't understand, or certain terms you know, in the English words, there are some terms that have like double meaning, or
Right.
you know, in a different context it means different things, and they can't get it. Like the locals might not be able to get it if they, you know, are not that good in English.
Right.
Yeah,
So what is the main language spoken in your faculty then?
Cantonese, I guess. But if like we are doing like a research meeting, then obviously the doctors speak English.
Right.
Yeah. So then that's,
So the doctors speak English in the meetings?
yeah, because that's more of like their professional terms. They have all those scientific
Okay.
terms, etc.
And are there other students who...
For among the RAs, we speak Cantonese.
Right.
Yeah, or among the students and RAs, yeah.
What about the people who speak Mandarin?
The people who speak Mandarin are in the lab. Yeah.
Okay.
So usually these China people, they don't do clinical work. I think this is also one of the reasons, because like I'm not sure about other faculties, but my boss, he's quite reluctant to hire people who can't speak Cantonese for clinical work, because the patients, you know, there's a huge problem if you don't explain the concept more properly, and you know they sign or what, then there's a big problem. So
Right.
they are quite reluctant to hire.
So you think that maybe that's the reason why
Yeah.
Mandarin-speaking people don't do
don't,
clinical
at
work?
least in my department.
Right.
I have friends, like last time I used to stay with 2 China girls, so they can speak Cantonese, and it has actually helped them a lot as well. So they've also told me that them being able to speak Cantonese is giving them more opportunities, because they can serve as a translator.
Right.
Yeah.
So then what if you couldn't speak? How do you think your experience would be if you couldn't speak Cantonese?
I think I would be on my own a lot. Yeah. Or maybe I would have to find some non-Cantonese speaking friends, I guess.
Right.
I have a friend. She's currently in the Faculty of Education. She can't speak Cantonese. Cannot. So she has also a lot of trouble because she is working part time for her boss, and her boss brings her to meetings, and they speak in Cantonese. So she's, you know, she really struggles, and then it's very hard. Just told her to watch TV and learn as much as she could, because it's just hard. She can't take minutes and stuff. So
Right. Wow, that is
yeah,
hard.
so that's very, very hard.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I think we've covered everything. Is there anything that you want to bring up that you haven't brought up yet?
For this question, I was thinking when I first came. So Hong Kong, not Hong Kong, I guess I know the government or something, but there was no in-depth explanation about like health stuff. Yeah, so I think I was quite puzzled, like, if I really have to go to A&E, how much will it cost? Because in Singapore, if a foreigner goes to a public hospital, it costs a bomb. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I cannot get sick, you know, if I'm sick, just over-the-counter drugs. But in the end, I found out that actually they have the same fees or something like that as foreigners, if I'm not wrong. Because I have a friend who has some chronic illness, and she's Singaporean, so she came over to study as well. And when she went to the Queen Mary, I think they only charged her the same amount as. So I've lived here for like 3 years, and I didn't know that until she came.
So
she came like same, like in September, a few months ago. I was like, what? No one told.
So there's no information.
Yeah.
Have you tried to look for it, or?
No, I haven't. But the HA's websites are not that useful. They don't really give a lot of information.
What website?
Hospital Authority.
Ah,
so that's
okay.
so they're not very useful.
Yeah. So was there any information on HKU's end? Oh well, you were working first, right?
For HKU, in terms of help, I'm not sure about the insurance part, but we only know about UHS.
Right.
So in the end, I was, because I'm quite reluctant to buy insurance. Like in Singapore, we're quite covered. So in Hong Kong, I was like, that's a big sum of money, etc. But yeah, you know, I was also quite worried. Like if I was really going to stay here long term and I didn't have any coverage, then what's going to happen? You know, Hong Kong's quite vulnerable to a lot of diseases.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I think that's
diseases, even the influenza is so scary.
Yeah.
So in the end, I kind of bought it. But when I found out that I can actually go to the hospital and it costs the same as the locals, because it's very cheap to go to the hospital, I'm like, if I knew earlier, maybe it would have helped in my decision making. Yeah. So I felt like, I think as a school, if your percentage of foreign students are big, maybe there is a need to talk about these things as well.
right.
Yeah, because I mean, health issues is everyone gets sick. No one stays healthy forever. Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, it's a problem if we are sick and we don't dare to go to the hospital.
Right.
I think that's
Yeah, for
horrible.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I would be very if I was in your position and I didn't.
So I thought that could have helped if they told us earlier.
Yeah.
Because they only talk about like life, what to eat, where to go. It's like I can just search it online. These are not the important stuffs.
Who are you talking about right now?
Like when we have the orientation,
okay.
Hong Kong orientation. These are not really important. We need to know how to live here and how to live here safe until whenever I leave, etc. Things like that. So I thought that could help foreign students. Yeah. So like because I came here first, so now I have to tell my friends, it's okay, you can go here, you can go there, wherever. So at least they feel more assured.
Yeah. But you didn't have that.
Yeah, I didn't have that, so I had to kind of find my way in. So that was not like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did that cover it?
Yeah, I think this one. But I mean, that was the one big thing that I really felt could have helped me. I haven't been exposed to all the other social stuff, I guess. Yeah, we don't need to vote. We don't need to. Yeah, not much. Yeah, just health.
Yeah.
Because like imagine the winter now so bad.
Yeah.
If I'm sick, do I go to a hospital or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was.
Yeah.
And like vaccines, etc. Like, can I go and take them, or must I go to a private clinic?
Right.
Because it really costs us a lot of money. I went once on a weekend, it's like $500 for a consult, like 5-minute consult with the doctors. So now me and my friends, we just wait for Monday to come. And we go to UHS because it's free.
Yeah.
It's so cheapo. It's a bomb. It's healthcare expenses.
These are genuine and valid concerns. So thanks for sharing.
Let me see. I have friends who have problems with the accommodation. Like I think they couldn't get the student accommodation. They had to find somewhere else outside, and they couldn't find much. So I think my friend kind of got scammed.
Scammed by someone who was pretending to
like
rent somewhere.
the photo looked so good, and then when she went to the place, like shit, and there was like no refund for the money. And then she just had to stay there. And
oh no.
yeah, it's quite bad, and it's very expensive. Like I think it's just a single room.
And was this because
6,000.
she couldn't get?
Yeah, because she kind of had to, in a sense, book it before she came, because she didn't have like accommodation. So that really sucks for like those really new ones. So I had help from my friend who's Malaysian, so she was a PhD student, so she helped me find some places.
We'd be interested to talk to her if she's willing to come.
But she went back to Malaysia because she graduated.
Okay.
Yeah, but she helped me. There was this Chinese Student Association. So it's like they're quite well-linked, the Chinese people. But I guess the rest of us, they come from different countries.
There's a divide.
Yeah, so it's because my friend had another friend who introduced her to that China Students Association. And therefore she knew about it, and therefore she told me. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe we could have some such associations as well or something.
Yeah.
That would help, because the housing here is like, and sometimes it's illegal, the houses that people rent out, and foreign students, they don't know the rules. They don't know like, you must have fire exits, you must have fire extinguishers.
Right.
Yeah, so then they get scared and stuff.
Right.
So it's quite bad.
Yeah.
I guess these two main things for students who come to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
The rest is fine. They have a lot of fun hiking. They love the hikes. I love the hikes.
Yeah.
I still hike like
mountains.
every year.
Yeah.
So that's really
especially up in the New Territories, there are loads of really nice hiking trails. All right then. Thank you so much.
Thank you.